everybody, welcome to How I See It with Kevin Levrone, brought to you by Levrone Supplements, right there. Joining us, as always, look at that, he's got the supplement. The man himself, 6 weeks out in a couple of days from the Arnold Classic Australia, Kevin Levrone. How are you, Kevin?
What's up, folks? What's up, Ron?
I'm doing well, doing well. How about you?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Yeah, good to go.
Got some great questions from your fans, so let's jump right into them. Vin77, who's been a very steady contributor to this series. First question is, can you ask Kevin about his acting career? How many films did he end up doing, and did he lose interest in Hollywood, or did he find it difficult to land roles in bigger name movies?
No, it was just I had a son. My son had turned 3, and I had to come back to the East Coast and be a daddy, man, full time.
Okay.
That was precedence over everything else. Total films was 4. The most major one that I did was actually Red Line. Yeah.
For those who missed it, I missed a lot of movies. What was that movie about, and what was your character?
Red Line was exotic cars, similar to Fast and the Furious, but it was exotic car racing, gambling, and betting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my role in that was bodyguard.
Right on. And his next question is also about that career. I always thought he would have made a good Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, or 80s Stallone type action hero. He had the charisma and look when he was dieted down and shredded. What was his weight around the time he was acting?
My weight at the time was about 198 to 205. Yeah.
I'm just curious. You had an agent and everything. I assume. Did they encourage you to come way down in size when you decided to start acting?
No, it was just something that I decided to do. Yeah.
Because there's really not many roles for anybody the size you are now, obviously.
No. Just bodybuilding stuff, I mean, bodyguard, bouncer stuff,
Right.
The typical.
Exactly. We've been stereotyped.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Next group of questions come from Zahir in the UK. Number 1, what does your son feel about you going on stage competing? Does he watch and follow fitness and bodybuilding?
He doesn't really follow it. He does, but he doesn't. He follows Instagram. He thinks, he just found out what I did and what I was a pro at and all this stuff about 3 years ago.
That's crazy.
He says, you didn't tell me I had a famous dad. I says, well, why would I tell you that about what I do and who I am? I says, how did you know? He goes, well, my last name. So the kids recognized it, my last name, and they asked me if my dad was Kevin.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you don't have pictures up, you don't have,
No.
magazine covers, trophies, any of that?
I have all that stuff, but I think when you grow up around it, you don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a piece of furniture that's there, but I never said, oh, look at this is me. Look at this is me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
That makes sense, because I've actually talked over the years to a few children of famous people, and they never really thought their parents were a big deal. It was just mom or dad, even though they might have had their own TV show or been an actor or a musician.
I've always wanted him to just be normal.
Yeah.
Be a normal child, even though I know, he's my son, and he has, of course, opportunities and stuff, but I didn't want that to arise just because of what I've done or who I was or anything like that.
Yeah.
His main focus and what we wanted as parents for my son is just him to have respect for people, him to treat people with dignity and respect, and be an honorable young man growing up. Obviously have a relationship with God and know that, I'm your earth dad,
Yeah.
And this is what's right and this is what's wrong. You can't get away with doing things wrong just because, of who I am or anything like that. So he's a good kid in school, which we all, so want our kids to be good kids, man. And I think, we've succeeded that way in raising him. So.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, he's got 4 questions. Question number 2. How do you typically feel on the morning of contest days and before you're about to grace the stage? Excited, nervous? What's the mood?
Depending on, there's days when I woke up and I felt like I didn't have any energy at all. There's days when I woke up and I felt like everything was on. So depending on, every day is different,
Yeah.
when you're leading up to a show. I mean, I've competed 69 times. Every moment is just different, depending on how long it took you to travel to this show.
Yeah.
You know, or you had to fly to this show. Who's there at the show? You know, what you ate the night before, what you done the week leading up to it. If you depleted yourself, if you didn't. So normally waking up, what the first thing I do is I get on a scale, take my clothes off, look in the mirror, see what I look like. That night, it's kind of hard to rest, you know, within that 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Because you're really dialing yourself in at those last moments. So when you normally get to a show, the week of a show, traveling to a show 3 days before a show, you kind of lose anywhere from 5 to 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Just from doing nothing, just from the thought of the hype and everything.
Right.
So everything is just takes a role. Who's in the room with you? Who's stressing you out? Who's not stressing you out? All these things take place. You
Were
know,
you ever
I mean,
able to really sleep well the night before a show?
no,
No.
never. For some reason, Ron, the Olympias were always the hardest. But after the Olympia, you do that first show, you get that out of the way,
Yeah.
and you're not worried about anything. You're not stressed. And on the tours, it was not a problem. And that's actually when I looked my best.
Right.
You know,
You
it was
used to
on the tours.
You cleaned up on those tours many times.
Yeah, you have fun. You're not so much, you know, it's not so much stress and pressure with trying to beat Dorian Yates or Ronnie Coleman. You know, you're just up against yourself over there and having a good time and flying. And you're just in survival mode. Everybody's over there helping each other. Everybody, you know, we travel together as a pack. So,
Right on. Okay. Next question from Zahir. What type of recovery techniques do you carry out at the moment? For example, deep tissue massages, chiropractic, ice bath, heat therapy, Pilates, stretching?
I don't do ice. I sleep 12 hours a day. I sleep 8 hours at night, and then I do probably about another 4 hours in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
You know, my body always wants to sleep. As far as the recovery, I take BCAAs a lot. Eat, of course, sleeping. Your body just wants to sleep.
Yeah.
For me, I sleep more now than ever because my body just wants to go to sleep. So I just try to listen to what it wants to do, and I do it. Stretching, yes, of course. I need to do more of my stretching, to be honest with you. That's important. Haven't had time for massages because when I get done at the gym,
Yeah.
I'm so worn out to where it takes me a while to even drive home. You just want to go home and in a cold bath. No, that ice bath is not. I don't have time for that. When I get done training, Ron, I just want to go home and go to sleep and take a bath and just relax.
Well, it seems like that's working well for you, though. I mean, that's, whatever you're doing, you feel
Yeah.
good, right? You feel good?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. I mean, I'm just, hey, I'm not going to say anything about my age or anything like that, but when you go at that level, I mean, I'm behind in the neck 405 and doing, one arm rows with 200-pound dumbbells, bench pressing 400 or 500 pounds. It's just a lot of, it's heavy. It's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It's more than just getting a pump. You're actually, your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, everything is sore and it hurts. You feel it. But that's how my body responds. It's not like I'm in the gym showing off to where I want to see how much I can bench. No, my body responds to that heavy weight.
Yeah.
And I just have to pound it and pound it and pound it. And when you do that, my body just needs to sleep. It knows what it needs to do, and that's what it needs to do. And I cannot work out like this for 6 months, 5 months, or a year. It's impossible. There's only that window of span to where I sleep, I train hard, I sleep, I eat, I train hard,
Right.
And you can only take so much of that in a certain period of time because my body's constantly growing and changing and responding.
Yeah. And I'm sure you couldn't sleep 12 hours a day all the time either. You wouldn't get a whole
No,
lot of
and my body wants to go to sleep. So it's sleeping because it needs to heal up.
Right.
There's things going on,
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
that's just it, man.
Last question from Zahir. This is a good one. Would you ever be interested in being a pro bodybuilding judge?
No, not really. I enjoy just going to shows and watching and everything. One thing I do know about judging is that it's a tough job.
Mm.
It's tough because whoever doesn't win always blames it on you.
Right.
So being a judge is not easy. Those guys go through a lot, and sitting there and giving people critiques, and a lot of people in denial.
Yeah.
You tell them one thing, and they're like, "Well, I still think this and still think that." So judges get beat up on probably more than anybody else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And no, I would not want to be a judge. Never.
So let me ask you, I know when I go to these shows, I could judge bodybuilding if I had to. I could judge classic physique if I had to. After that, and women's physique, I could probably, but things get sketchy after that. Do you think you could judge every division if you really had to, like bikini, figure? Because I don't know what I'm looking at half the time. They all look the same.
Ron, let me tell you, they all look the same. I mean, unless you kind of grew up in it, like here we are. You take the group of IFBB judges we have, right?
Yeah.
They judged us. They judge bodybuilding. They judge female bodybuilding. They watch the sport evolve into what it is, right?
Yeah.
So for them, that eye has been trained over years and years and years and years of looking to where it is now. So they're more adapted. They've adapted to that environment. So when they walk out there, they got it.
Yeah.
For you and me to sit down and judge a bikini thing or a men's physique or I would be lost. It's a hard job, and they do it fast.
They do. Yeah.
And I could not. It all becomes just one big blur to me after a while.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of patience. It takes a special eye to do that. Really. And think about it, Ron. You have 200, 300, 400, 500 people in these shows nowadays.
Oh, more. Some of the big national shows I've been to were like 1,000 or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. North America,
I
think
there.
they had 1,300. Yeah.
And sitting there judging like that, I mean, that'd make you lose weight too.
Well, yeah. You can't eat and go to the bathroom all the time like I like to.
No.
That's why I wouldn't do it. Sorry.
Tough job.
Okay,
So hats off to the judges, man.
From the UK, we go back to Bangalore, India. Our good friend Siddharth, a.k.a. Sid. Before I begin, I just want to say that I'm backing Kevin's decision to go heavy this time. I believe Kevin is trying to reach 270 pounds, and I guess he should be on stage around 263, 264. Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong. So that wasn't really a question, but I guess he wants to know if that's what you plan on being on stage, around low, mid 260s?
No, I'm not. I've never competed in the 260s, ever in my entire life. The heaviest I've ever been was 255, 256. Close to 257, no way. My thing is I wanted to just put on my size and get where I needed to be. I'm going to let my body do what it needs to do to come down where it needs to come down, and the weight's not important for me. And I just want guys to know this. Like, you have competitors. I've competed against guys that were 300 pounds, 280 and 290 on stage, and I beat them at 240.
Yeah.
And so has Sean Ray.
Right.
Sean competed at what, 212?
210, 212, yeah.
210, 212, and just sent guys home in the 260s.
I mean, he beat Nasser many times.
Yeah, 280s, 290s. So get the weight out. I'm not going to. I step on that scale so I can have a gauge where I need to be.
Yeah.
That's for me, because I know where my striking range is in the low 240s. I talked to Phil Heath backstage, 2016 Mr. Olympia. Phil said that he was about 248, 247, 248 at that show. Okay. And he looked phenomenal.
Right.
And it's all about the illusion, the tie-ins, the small, joints, the muscle round, full, the tie-ins, the bellies, and just that roundness, and you don't have to be 260, 270. 280. Everybody has different genetics. For me, I look my best at a certain weight, and I know exactly what that weight is. I'm just trying to do the best that I can do and look better than I did in 2016 for my fans.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to look better than I did 2016. I don't think that's delusional. I think it's reachable. I think I can do it. And the path that I'm on right now, I'm going to be, I'm happy with the way I look right now.
Right.
So that's just it, man. It's a personal goal for me. Not trying to be the biggest guy in the house. Not trying to say I'm going to do this or do that or bring anybody down and all this other stuff for me. And I'm 50 some years old,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna roll up in there, do the best that I can do for myself, and to put on a really good show for my fans in Australia. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Second question from him. Looking at Kevin's legs with whatever videos we have available online, looks like they're already back to 75% of their best. I believe he still has about 6 weeks more. So I guess his only question is, are you still training legs every other day?
Yes. Yeah.
No wonder you need 12 hours of sleep, man. That's crazy.
I know, man. I know. From the squats, the 3 sets of 20, to the leg press, to the hack squats, to the leg extensions, to everything. We're there.
Yeah.
I feel good. I'm happy with where I'm at right now. We have 6 weeks, 5 more serious weeks of training, which is a lot. A lot can happen within a month. And I say that because I'm not trying to build muscle. Well, I'm building the muscle, but I'm not trying to create new muscle cells. I'm just trying to wake up the ones that have already there,
Yeah.
and get them to respond, to get back to that size where they used to be. Okay.
Yeah.
And in order for me to do that, I just have to continue to train heavy, continue to overload the muscles, continue to push the blood into the muscles, and just sleep.
Okay. I have a feeling you've answered this one before, but you mentioned 2018 will be your last year competing in more shows. He wants to know, are you going to do any more shows possibly between Arnold, Australia and the Olympia?
No. What I will do is go out and guest pose.
Right on.
I'll guest pose for my fans. I will be in the gym training, continuing to train, and I'll hold on to my size.
Well, I think it's good you are guest posing because, like I said, you're going to be in Australia, so nobody in America, very few people in America are going over for that show. Olympia will get a lot of people, but
Yeah,
if you go around the country, that's going to give more people a chance to see you one last time.
I feel good, Ron. I'm 260 pounds right now,
Yeah, it should feel good.
which is great. For me to get up to this weight and to have it muscle and carry it, it's good, man.
Yeah, I'd be happy. Question 4 from Sid. Does Kevin feel his size and his strength has gone up more than what it used to be before he retired? And is this the hardest you've ever trained for a show?
Not the hardest I've ever trained for a show. No, 2000. I remember 2000 was the hardest I've ever trained for a show. This is the hardest because of the time.
Yeah.
The time with the age, the time with the recovery, the time that I have for my body to repair. Of course, there's a lot of wear and tear on my body now that I didn't have 20 some years ago, 15 years ago, 17, 18, 19 years ago. But this is the most challenging for me, because everything I do, I'm feeling it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm really, really feeling it. And it's not easy. Certainly not easy. Not a spring chicken.
Yeah.
But I thank God that I'm healthy. I thank God that my muscles are responding. I thank God that I'm able to do this,
Yeah. So the part of this question we asked if you were stronger now than you were in the
The
past.
same.
The same. That just to be even close to the same, I think would be pretty astounding.
Yeah.
You were in your 20s when you did most of the lifts that we're familiar with.
Yeah. I can rep out 500 on the bench now, so maybe 4 or 5 or 6.
Which at your
Yeah,
gym, Excel Fitness, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I just had 405 behind my neck 2 days ago, just seeing how it felt, So I'll be doing that again tonight in the gym.
405 behind the neck. Oof. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my rotator cuff just had a spasm when you said that. Okay. So his last question is, your last 6 weeks of training, is he doing something different training-wise? And has he started doing those heavy deadlifts?
Yeah, deadlifts. Yes.
Okay.
Starts this week.
Good luck with those. Good luck with those. Because you haven't done those in a little while, right? We said last time? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a couple more questions. Yazid, gentleman named Yazid, wants to know, since Kevin always praised Dorian, his physique and his knowledge, did he ever try high-intensity blood and gut style training?
Yeah, I've tried all kinds of training.
So that's the, warm up and then do one set to failure. How did that treat you? How'd you like it?
I don't like it so well. I think I'm a 6 to 8 rep range guy.
Yeah.
6 reps. I need at least 6 reps.
He would do 6 to 8 reps, but he only did one working set where you seem to be a little more of a volume trainer than that, right?
Yeah, I am.
I mean,
Yep.
for a while you were doing, don't you still break up the body parts where you're doing
Chest, shoulders, and triceps.
all in one workout?
Yeah, I have that tonight, actually.
Wow. How long does that take?
Close to 2 hours.
No, that's commendable to be able to get through all that in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a question from someone actually needs your advice here. Joseph Brennan. I want to ask Kevin a really big question regarding chest development. I'm currently 12 weeks out from my next show. I had a pec tear back in June where I tore it in 2 places. My pec is about 95% there. It only becomes an issue when approaching failure on dumbbell presses. I've always been strong with chest, but it's a huge lagging body part for me. What can I do to bring it up?
Just keep training. Try to train through it. Try to train around the injury and take your time and listen to your body.
Yeah.
Get a lot of rest and eat some proper good food and just let your body heal up when it needs to heal up.
So you were always strong on chest. Did it always grow well for you as a body part too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you were doing like 600 pounds in your heyday, correct?
For double, yeah.
For double. What dumbbells? What's the heaviest dumbbells you ever pressed?
I wasn't a dumbbell guy. I was always afraid to mess with those heavy dumbbells like that, but I think I did 200s.
I mean, rightfully so. Those. You got
I
one
mean,
of
you're
those
talking this, right? It's kind of like, nah, not good.
Yeah, one false move and you are done.
You're done.
Okay, final question comes to us from Poland. A lot of fans of Kevin Levrone in Poland. Darius Piwowarski wants to know, in the last Instagram video, Kevin says he's 260 and going up. Does he still plan to be mid 240 on stage? I know we just kind of answered that, but
Yeah.
one final statement on that. Your weight's not an issue, but that's where you're going to look your best usually. So
Where I feel my best.
where you feel your best. You were talking about supplements, and we tried taping this about an hour ago, and things went awry. Do you have what supplements are you using? At this point in your prep the most out of your series?
My creatine, I actually take this before I train. I take it at night, in the middle of the night, and I take it in the morning for breakfast. And then my BCAA, same thing. I take this before I work out. I take it after I work out, and I take it in the middle of the night. I just have to keep taking it because I just want my body to try to heal up as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I didn't take creatine or BCAAs ever in my career.
Really?
Never. When we were back in the day, no, never.
Wow. Well, they really BCAAs. I don't recall really.
They weren't even out.
Thing. Yeah, I don't. Maybe like 10, 12 years ago that
They
started
weren't
to be
even
a
out.
thing.
Mm-mm.
And creatine even wasn't really a big deal until later in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, oh, wow. So what do you notice differently now that you are taking them consistently?
I can't even tell the difference, Ron. I'm just tired all the time. I know that much.
We need to try when you're
I
not
have a
dieting.
pump. I really get a pump a lot easier in the gym, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm constantly, I can get a pump real quick.
Okay.
And hold on to my pump,
Right. Well, that is all the questions from this round for this week. Appreciate it very much, Kevin. So that has been How I See It with Kevin Levrone, brought to you by Levrone Supplements. Thanks for all your questions, and Kevin, thank you for answering all these questions for everybody.
And you know how we rolling, baby. 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Peace.
All right.